You've done everything right. You swapped the bacon and eggs for a sensible bowl of steel-cut oatmeal and berries. You have a nice mixed green salad for lunch. You keep your red meat to a minimum. By all the standard definitions we've been taught for the last 40 years, your diet is perfectly healthy. So why do you feel weaker? Why is it suddenly hard to get out of a low chair, carry the groceries, or open that stubborn jar? Why are your arms and legs looking thinner, even if your weight hasn't changed? Welcome to the Protein Paradox. I'm your doctor, and today on Health and Well-Being, we are tackling a silent epidemic sweeping across America's older adults. It turns out the very diet you adopted to protect your heart and live longer might actually be starving your muscles. After the age of 60, the rules of nutrition completely change. But unfortunately, the government guidelines and popular health advice haven't caught up. Today, I'm going to explain exactly why the standard healthy American diet is a disaster for your muscle mass, a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance, and the exact step-by-step protein protocol you need to rebuild your strength and independence. Grab a pen and paper. We are diving deep into the science of aging, and what you learn in the next 20 minutes could change the trajectory of the rest of your life. Let's get started. To understand this paradox, we first have to talk about a medical term called sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is the age-related loss of muscle mass, strength, and function. Most people think losing muscle is just a normal, inevitable part of getting older. But I'm here to tell you, as a physician, that while some loss is natural, the rapid decline most Americans experience is not. It's a preventable disease. Here's the frightening reality. Starting around age 30, we begin losing about 3 to 8% of our muscle mass per decade. But after age 60, that rate accelerates drastically. Now, why does your healthy diet make this worse? Let's look at the recommended dietary allowance, or RDA, for protein. The U.S. government sets this at 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. For a 150-pound person, that's about 55 grams of protein a day. If you're eating your oatmeal and your salads, you might be hitting that 55 grams. You think you're safe. But here's the bombshell the medical community has uncovered. The RDA is the bare minimum required to prevent severe deficiency. It is not the optimal amount for health. And more importantly, that guideline was based on studies done on young, healthy college students. Older adults have entirely different biology. You have a condition called anabolic resistance. Think of your muscles like a bucket with a small hole in the bottom. Throughout the day, water, representing muscle proteins, is leaking out. This is a natural process called muscle protein breakdown. When you eat protein, you pour water back into the top of the bucket. This is muscle protein synthesis. When you were 25, a small cup of water, say 15 grams of protein from a yogurt, was enough to trigger a massive response and fill the bucket. But at age 65, your bucket is resistant. That same 15 grams of protein barely registers. Your body simply ignores it. Because of anabolic resistance, you need a much larger, stronger signal to tell your body to build muscle. This brings us to the biggest mistake I see in my clinic. It's what I call the protein distribution trap. Let's look at a typical healthy day of eating for a senior in America. For breakfast, oatmeal with fruit and a splash of almond milk, maybe 5 to 8 grams of protein. For lunch, a mixed salad with a few chickpeas or a tiny piece of grilled chicken, maybe 15 grams of protein. For dinner, finally, a nice piece of fish or chicken, broccoli, and a sweet potato, about 40 grams of protein. Total protein, about 65 grams. Technically, over the government RDA, but your muscles are still shrinking. Why? Because of anabolic resistance. Your muscles have a threshold. If a meal doesn't cross that threshold, muscle protein synthesis is not activated. For a young person, that threshold is around 15 to 20 grams. For someone over 60, that threshold jumps to 30 to 40 grams of high-quality protein in a single sitting. In our example, the oatmeal breakfast completely failed to trigger muscle growth. The salad at lunch failed. For 18 hours of the day, your body was in a catabolic state, breaking down your own muscle tissue to survive. Only at dinner did you finally eat enough protein to trigger muscle growth. But one muscle-building meal a day isn't enough to counteract the muscle breakdown happening the rest of the time. You are literally starving your muscles while eating a healthy diet. So, what exactly is that threshold? It comes down to one specific essential amino acid called leucine. Leucine is like the key that turns on the ignition of your muscle-building car. In the medical world, we call this ignition switch the mTOR pathway. To turn on mTOR when you are over 60, you need about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in a single meal. To get 3 grams of leucine, you need about 4 to 5 eggs, or a 4-ounce chicken breast, or a cup of cottage cheese. Your bowl of oatmeal, it is less than half a gram. So, how do we fix this? How do we beat the protein paradox? I am going to give you my 3-step prescription to overcome anabolic resistance, protect your muscles, and reclaim your vitality. Step 1. Aim for 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Forget the old 0.8 gram rule. The PROT-AGE Study Group, an international consortium of geriatric and nutritional experts, clearly states that older adults need significantly more protein. For a 150-pound person, that means aiming for roughly 80 to 100 grams of protein a day. If you are actively exercising or recovering from an illness, you need even more. Step 2. Evenly distribute your protein. Stop saving all your protein for dinner. You need to hit that 30-gram threshold at least 3 times a day. Asterisk breakfast. Swap the plain oatmeal for Greek yogurt, or add whey protein powder to your oats, or have 3 whole eggs with a slice of turkey bacon. Asterisk lunch. Double the amount of chicken or fish on your salad. Add edamame, pumpkin seeds, and a hard-boiled egg. Asterisk dinner. Keep enjoying your healthy portions of fish, poultry, or lean meats. Step 3. Quality matters. The plant versus animal debate. I know many of you are trying to eat more plant-based for heart health. And plants are wonderful for fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. But we have to be honest about amino acids. Animal proteins, whey, dairy, eggs, fish, poultry, beef, are complete proteins. They are packed with leucine and are highly bioavailable. Plant proteins, like beans, rice, and lentils, are lower in leucine and harder for the body to digest. If you are strictly vegetarian or vegan, you can build muscle, but you have to work much harder. You will need to eat significantly higher total volumes of protein or supplement with vegan protein powders and branched-chain amino acids to hit that leucine threshold. Nutrition is only half of the equation. I cannot make a video about anabolic resistance without talking about the cure. Protein gives your body the materials to build muscle, but it does not give your body the reason to build muscle. The only way to force your aging body to utilize that protein efficiently is through resistance training. I'm not talking about walking or gardening. Those are great for your heart, but they do very little for your fast-twitch muscle fibers, which are the ones you lose most rapidly as you age. You need to lift weights, use resistance bands, or do bodyweight exercises like squats and modified push-ups at least 2 to 3 times a week. When you combine resistance training with 30 grams of protein, you completely bypass anabolic resistance. Your muscles suddenly act like they are 20 years younger. Losing your strength is not a guaranteed part of aging. You do not have to accept growing frail. By stepping out of the healthy diet trap, recognizing the protein paradox, and giving your body the 30-gram doses of protein it desperately needs, you can stay strong, active, and independent for decades to come. Before you make any major changes to your diet, especially if you have chronic kidney disease, please consult with your primary care physician. If this video opened your eyes today, please hit that like button. It helps the algorithm share this potentially life-saving information with other older adults. Subscribe to Health and Well-Being for more evidence-based medicine that puts you back in the driver's seat of your health. I'm your doctor. Stay healthy, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.